Those of you that are relatively new to working with Project may enjoy the ability to use wizards to get some of your work done. And one of the nice wizards that we can work with here is our Critical Path wizard. And we're going to look at that right now. I've opened up the Project Critical Path exercise file again to start from scratch. And I'm going to remove the split by pulling down the split bar so that I'm just looking at my Gantt chart. Now, to get to your Gantt chart wizard, we go up to the Format menu and we select Gantt chart wizard. So it says here, welcome to the Gantt chart wizard, and it's going to help us create or format our Gantt charts to look exactly the way we want it. Great. So I'm going to click on the next button. Now, what kind of information can I display in my Gantt chart? Well, we can have the standard display, which is what we have. We have black summary lines. We have blue task lines with an indicator of the progress within the Gantt chart within the line. And we're going to have black milestones. We could have a critical path, which is what we're going to look at. And when we identify a critical path display, all of the tasks on our critical path are going to show up in red, which is great. We could also determine how we're going to have our baseline look. We can do some other looks and feels. We have a standard style 1. We have a critical path style number 2, and as you select through these different styles, you get a preview of what they're going to look like over on the left. So you can have some fun playing around with some of the different looks and feels. Some of them are quite nice. And then you can also create your own custom Gantt chart if you'd like. But we're going to go back to the critical path selection, select Next. Then it asks us what kind of information do we want to display on our Gantt chart. Well, we can have resources and dates, which identify the resource assigned to that particular task, as well as the dates with your milestones. You can just identify the resources, which removes date from our milestones. We can just look at what date these particular tasks are due on, or we don't need to have any information displayed at the end of our Gantts. Also, you can attempt to put in your own custom task information should you require it. We're going to go back up to the default of resources and dates. Do I want to show link lines between dependent tasks? Well, for me, that's a really good visual connection between task number 1 and task number 2. So yes, I do want to see those here. But if you prefer, you can remove them by saying no. But I need all the visual help I can get, so I'm going to connect those together. Finally, I'm at the end. It says, congratulations, your Gantt chart wizard is ready to format your chart. In order to have my selections applied to the screen that I have behind, I click the Format It button, and then I select Exit Wizard. And when I come back to my screen, you'll see that I have my critical path now nicely outlined in red. And as I scroll through and down my path, I can now easily identify what is not on my critical path because that particular task, task 40, shooting the imagery, has not been identified as a critical task in my path. So to me, this is a really nice way to make sure that I got this nice visual ability to pop out what I need to be paying attention to on my screen. If you save your file and you want to remove the formatting later, you need to run the wizard again by going back up to Format, back up to the Gantt chart, running through it again, and it will allow you to reselect your changes, and you're back at square one. In our next movie, we're going to take a look at shortening our critical path because that's really part of the key jobs for most project managers. See you at the next movie.